Hi guys. So I wanted to remind you of, as the current energies might be a little exhausting. So we have a lot of stuff going on astrologically, as well as the Schumann resonance has been really intense the last few days. By now, I mostly feel the symptoms of them, and then I look it up, and then it's like, oh, okay, I knew that the Schumann resonance is, the frequency is quite high. So, um, you might be experiencing the symptoms of like low blood pressure. So you might be feeling, oh, sorry, I think that's allergy. So you might be feeling really tired, really drained. If you work out, if you do your sport or any kind of fitness routine, you might feel really short in breath. You might have also low blood sugar as well, eventually a headache, also feelings of sadness and grieving old versions. And for me, anxiety came up as well. And I didn't have anxiety in a really long time, surprisingly, which is good news. But when we are feeling anxious, due to whatever, right? Due to the energies at the moment, for example. If we're feeling anxious, for a lot of us, it's very uncomfortable feeling. I don't know anyone who likes feeling anxious. But if it's a very uncomfortable feeling. And a lot of times when humans feel discomfort, we feel like we want to leave our body. We want to distract ourselves. We want to do other things. We feel like doing more and changing that right away. And that's very understandable because feeling anxious is just like, with this anxiety, like it's just not a nice feeling. And with the anxiety comes nervousness, and with the nervousness comes the feeling of uh, needing to do something, needing to change something about our lives. We're not in the right environment, we're not in the right spot. We might feel like, why am I still in this? Why am I still here? Why am I feeling like I'm not making progress? And it's mostly connected to the feeling of anxiety because when we're anxious, we feel like we want to leave our bodies and we don't want to be here. We feel ungrounded and unsettled, and from that feeling, I feel like I have to make changes. I have to make changes right away. I have to make adjustment. I want to be more, I don't know, successful in what I'm doing, or I feel like I'm not making progress fast enough. Um, and the thing with anxiety, it's so difficult, or um, yeah, difficult to sit with it because it's just very uncomfortable. But if we can be with this anxiety, because a lot of times we think we have to do something about our feelings and our state of mind and our state of consciousness and our nervousness, right? So we feel nervous, we feel anxious, there's something wrong, I want to leave my body, I don't feel home in my body, I don't feel like I belong here, I have to change something right away because I'm feeling this discomfort and there's something I have to do about it. So the human being is a lot focused on the 3D of doing things, right? 3D is a lot about doing something and making physical, taking physical actions to change something. I don't know a lot of people who learn to sit with their discomfort, to learn to sit with their emotions, to learn to sit with who learn to sit with their inner um, actions, what's going on for them emotionally. Um, so it is a practice that probably takes a long time for us to understand that with emotions, most of the time, pretty much always, there's nothing we need to do about them. With emotions like sadness, grief, frustration, or anxiety, of course there are things we can do to calm our anxiety. When we're frustrated because we haven't been doing a lot, of course we can go for a walk, of course we can go for a run, of course we can take a shower. But we as humans keep thinking that it is about the doing in the physical to shift us out of something that's uncomfortable. And that's just mostly not the case and mostly not the truth. So with anxiety and the feeling of like I don't belong in my body, I'm not home here, I want to leave, I need to make physical changes, it's very important to learn to sit with that nervousness as well. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do some stretching, some yoga. It's really actually recommended to do meditation or grounding work, some yoga practice, going for a walk, hugging a tree, nature. All these things are very beneficial. I'm not saying don't do any of that, because obviously what always helps with anxiety is doing things with your hands, doing things in nature, doing things with your body to get out of your mind and into your body. Also because we are starting to feel much more. We're starting to feel, okay, I'm in my mind quite a lot and I'm feeling anxious, but if I run, if I knit, if I do yoga, if I distract myself by being in my body, it's actually helping and this is healing. But when we think we have to do certain things to make that go away, like taking action, like it's actually not a good place to take action from when we are anxious. But taking action to ease that anxiety in terms of connecting to nature, connecting to my own body, to be able to move that anxiety through my body, because all the emotions we are experiencing are getting worse when we are in our heads, and when we start to be in our head and in our mind and trying to figure out that emotion. For the longest time, I thought I was feeling my emotions. But I became aware of how a lot of times when I thought I would have felt my emotions, I actually tried to figure them out with my mind. I tried to label them, which is not a bad thing, but like I sometimes think when we label emotions and when we label our feelings, and we put a label on it, and it feels much more painful because we are attached to that emotions. We can say, okay, I'm sad today, I let myself feel the sadness, and from that knowing I tap into my body and let my body truly like grieve and truly cry and truly feel miserable and truly let the emotion move through my body. I thought for the longest time I would have felt grief and emotions when I grieved an old relationship, when I felt when I would experience loss and grief and pain and suffering and sadness. I thought I was feeling that, but maybe I wasn't feeling it long enough, and then I would label it and then I would put it aside. And with anxiety, when we think we have to do things about that emotion, the only thing we have to do is tap into our bodies and let our bodies feel that emotion. And with something with anxiety, which is really stressful, it is recommended to do something like movement, like connecting to nature, maybe journaling, maybe expressing yourself creatively. Because with anxiety, it's I'm thinking if it's different than grieving, because it makes our body try to be somewhere else. But we for sure can sit with that anxiety and talk us through grounding that anxiety, and also learn to find ways to feel calmer. And I think it's different for everyone, because a lot of people feel calm when they sit with themselves and talk themselves through that anxiety by positive affirmations. But if anxiety is really, really bad, it's a good thing to find ways to connect to your body, like a cold shower, right? There's immediately a connection to your body, and like a run, like a long walk, like exercise, to be distracted from your mind and be in the body. And the body is able to release the stress and release those stress hormones that are affecting the body and the mind. But a lot of times when we feel this anxiety and we think we have to do something physical, it's not the case that we have to move from that space, but maybe try to find ways to ease that stress and ease that anxiety and ease that nervousness. But it's not said that like anxiety is not the sign of like take action now in all kinds of directions and do something about your emotions, but try to enter your body and release that emotion either by feeling or by moving your body. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Bye.